Hey guys, this is me again. We're going to start on the Road to World War II PowerPoint today, and I'll put another video on later. They're going to be a little shorter this week. There'll probably be three of them. We'll see how it goes. I hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's getting everything done and doing okay. We're going to kind of continue on here as we go. First of all, the Road to World War II we're going to talk about today. How did Japan, Italy, Germany expand their empires? What appeasement is? And then what events triggered the start of World War II? Now, after World War I, we've talked about it before. There's a Great Depression in the 1930s throughout all of Europe, and mainly because they're having to rebuild everything after World War I, and so everybody's economies were really strained. It led to the rise of authoritarian dictators. It'll be fascist. Totalitarian regimes in both Italy and Germany. Mussolini will rise to control in Italy. And of course, in Germany, you will have the fascist leader Adolf Hitler. At the same time, Japan in Asia is practicing militarism that'll cause tension. They try to conquer almost all of Asia. They will kind of start with the Japanese aggression in the area called Manchuria. It's what I always call the chicken head of China. In 1931, they will go and attack Manchuria. The League of Nations, which was formed after World War I, merely condemns the actions and don't take any action against them. And so the Japanese sees this as weakness and try to really expand their empire. You can kind of look on the map on the next slide, and it shows the area they went in. Now, when they go into Manchuria, they pretty much slaughter anybody and everybody. They kind of like Hitler seeing the Aryan race or the German people as being the superior race. The Japanese saw themselves as the superior Asian race, and they saw the Chinese and anybody else as inferior to them. And so as they go in through Manchuria and then work their way through eastern China, they brutally will kill thousands of people. And you can kind of see the pictures there of one of the Japanese soldiers about to behead a Chinese person and a baby standing there. This is where I've kind of mentioned before, where the Japanese had a game where they would throw babies in the air and try to catch them on their bayonets or stab them with their bayonets or stomp their brains out. It was a really, really sad time. And the League of Nations does nothing, and the Japanese just keep on doing it because they wanted to kind of get rid of the Chinese race. Moving on to Italy. Benito Mussolini will take control of Italy. Like Japan, the fascist Italy was also militaristic, nationalistic, and had dreams of an empire. Mussolini will set out to conquer Ethiopia, an African nation that had defeated them during the colonial times, and he wanted to make them pay for that because it had put a stain on the Italian reputation. Ethiopia appeals to the League of Nations for help, but they don't do anything but put sanctions on them. The sanctions were never really enforced, and by 1936, Mussolini fully controlled Ethiopia, and he's set to expand. Hitler looked at Mussolini and the things that he was doing in Italy and puts in effect in Germany. He, especially with the forming of the Hitler Youth, Mussolini really started training good little fascists in Italy and made sure that the rest of Italy kind of went along with that, and Hitler went alongside it too. The German aggression, I'm kind of just skipping through here, guys. German aggression, disturbing the peace. Seeking his own empire, Hitler rebuilt the German military. It violates the Treaty of Versailles. But the League of Nations, everybody was so weak in going through that Great Depression era, they were mainly focusing on rebuilding their countries. So they don't really do anything to step in. And the United States at this time, we're practicing what's called isolationism, just worrying about ourselves. So we just kind of let him rebuild his army and do what he wants. With a stronger military in 1936, Hitler ordered troops to occupy the demilitarized Rhineland. a region of the Treaty of Versailles forbade the German troops from entering it, but he does it. He goes in, he takes control of that. He gains back all of the important industries that he needed to make his war-making machine. And again, the League of Nations doesn't do anything. They practice what's called appeasement. We'll talk about that a little bit later. You can look on the map there. It shows in the little white and red stripes that with an R, that is the Rhineland that he goes in and he takes back control of. Hitler challenges Britain and France and won. Although they denounced Hitler's moves with words, the Western powers took no action, adopting a policy called appeasement. And there is appeasement right there. It's giving in to an aggressor's demands in the hopes of keeping peace. I know that's one of your questions you need to answer. So what he really do, like what they were doing is France and Britain said, well, if we just give him what he wants here, maybe he'll stop. And Hitler kept on saying, well, all right, give me this, let me do this, and then I'm not going to do anything else. Let me do this, and I promise I won't do anything else. And so they kept on appeasing him and letting him do what he wanted to do. And they kept on thinking, well, if we let him do this, then yeah, he's going to keep his word. Well, he did not. And appeasement convinced Hitler Britain and France were extremely weak, which encouraged him to continue to break the Treaty of Versailles and further expand the Third Reich, or Germany. Overjoyed with their victory, the German public rallied behind the triumphant Fuhrer. He used this to make his ego and make him look like a better leader, and the people all bought into it. They're like, oh, he's doing all these great things for us. He's made our economy better. He's strengthened our military. He's regaining lands that we've lost. He's going against that horrible Treaty of Versailles we hated, and so they all bought into what was going on. And then here's kind of why they chose appeasement. Pacifism. They really didn't want to go back into war because they'd just been in it. The Great Depression weakened their countries, and they were trying to rebuild them. Some of them even agreed with what Hitler was doing. The lack of strong leadership in both Britain and France at this time. And then big time, Hitler was a defense against the Soviet Union and communism, and everybody was afraid of communism. And I'm really going to stop there with that slide today, guys. I hope everybody's doing great out there. If you have any questions, email me, ask a question on Google Classroom. I'll try to answer it. As I say, I hope everybody's doing great. And we will talk at you tomorrow. I'll put another video on tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.